We are live. Welcome to the Seahawks podcast. About 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Adam is going to try his best to get in right away. We see Andrea Springer right away saying, let's go run game. And she is on friggin' point. There is Adam. Adam, do we have you, bud?
The mic keeps cutting itself a disconnect time, but we'll see how it goes. One thing that wasn't having up connecting, the run game, baby. The run game live 2 weeks in a row. My God, man, so fired. Watch that. I mean, good.
Adam,
How much fun is that?
Oh, it's great. I think the entire audience heard run game, and that was about it. That's probably about all we need to hear from you, unfortunately. But it's real choppy, bud. It's choppy. So, I'll keep rocking. Let's see if we can. Yeah.
I don't know why this is. So you get full sentences now?
Somewhat full sentences. Oh my goodness! Here, this will brighten your spirits. Ready for this one? Look at R Ryan 911 with the super chat. $99.99 for the executive live producer coming in for Clinton to buy a new shirt. Go Hawks. There is a great story behind this shirt. We will get into the Seahawks game as it's winding down, 33-16, of course, and hopefully Adam's going to be able to join us. He's trying, folks. He's trying. Not his fault. Literally not his fault. So funny aside, while we're waiting for Adam, might as well joke about this. So I'm downstairs, right? It's 12:40 or in the morning, for that matter, because I live on the East Coast. So my family's upstairs sleeping. I have a tank top on. It's a green tank top. So it's not only is it that, but with my green screen, it's see-through, which is really something. And I go to my drying, washer and dryer is down here. So I'm like, oh, there's got to be something in there. There's nothing in there. It's like my teenage daughter's clothes, which was a worse option than me just wearing the tank top I had on. So this is what you get. But what can I tell you? It's almost 1 a.m. As we get going here. But Ryan, dude, thank you so much. We missed you, bud. Glad you're back. And we got Shane Turner Acoustic coming all the way from Australia with a $2.99 Australian super chat. Thank you as well. Really appreciate it. So I'll do my best to monitor chat as we're going here. And if I miss something, just put it back in there, because I'm going to be maybe looking like I'm here solo for a little bit. But let's dive into this. This is what we got to get going with, because people are here to talk about the Seahawks. So our Seattle Adam back on stage. Adam, how you doing, bud? You look good. Can you hear us? No. Well, you could hang out you could run the board if you want to, man. If you see that, if you want to throw comments up there and hang out, all good, my man. Yeah, I'll get rocking. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I know. It's a pain in the ass. Definitely a bane of your existence. But as I think, who was it earlier that was talking about the run game? But here we go. Andrea was saying, let's go run game. And that's why I put this on screen there. Run, Seahawks run. So let's just start diving into this, because this was a ton of absolute fun, right out of the gate. Folks, we would love you to subscribe. YouTube.com/Seahawks podcast. If you're new to it, we have a lot of fun here. I think you're going to enjoy it. Coming up on Monday night, we got Coach Derek from All 22 Films. He's going to have fresh Seahawks content for us to look at. If you don't know All 22, you should. He puts out amazing content all the time. And you should go check it out. And he's going to be on with us. It's going to be fantastic. Something else coming up on Tuesday. We have Earl freaking Thomas. Earl Thomas is joining us. Seahawks legend Earl Thomas will be joining us on Tuesday to talk about the 2025 Seahawks and some other stuff. But I mean, come on. So get the subscribes going, get in there. And Carly saying, not enough Milro in this game. I will get to it, Carly. Maybe there was just enough. All right. We put this poll out on YouTube before the game started, saying tonight, who are you most excited to watch? And 37% of the flock out there, we got like 300 votes. It was only up for a few hours. 37%, which was the most, said the O-line as a unit. And then Sam Darnold right behind them with 34, Byron Murphy. And then we had give me more oots with 13%. I think this is a very appropriate place to start. That most of the flock was like, let's get the O-line as an absolute unit doing their thing. And I think that's exactly what we saw. And I brought up some of these amazing tweets out of the gate. Just look at the stats. When have we ever seen this type of thing? at the half, 167 yards rushing. It only got better for a little bit, but George Halani, 9.8 yards per carry on 5 attempts. Zach Charbonnet, 9 yards per carry on 5 attempts. Damian Martinez looked good out there. Drew Lock was running the ball out there. So absolute domination up front by our Seattle Seahawks. So love to see different comments rolling in about your takes on this line. But I cut up a couple things from Twitter just to put them out there. It's Flock. I think it's really, really cool and interesting and fun that a first round pick, a first round guard from NDSU is catching absolute, like at this point, national media fire, right? Nate Tice, here it is on screen. Nate Tice, Gray Zabel is so fast out of his stance. Then you got Dane Brugler retweeting or commenting on top of a Mina Kimes tweet saying, so Gray Zabel, pretty good. And then we got Brian Baldinger doing like automatic Baldy breakdowns. If y'all can see that on youtube.com/Seahawkers podcast, look at the friggin' hole that Zabel and company and Sundell and Bradford and the left side of that line, I think was Jones who started there in the place of an injured Cross, absolutely blowing that completely open. So let's see, Brian, you said your answer was Darnold, but you liked what you saw, right? So which is really, really cool. Other takes out there, drop them in the comments. We'll try to put them up as we go. It was complete domination. So one other thing that I wanted to bring up and talk with Adam about is, does hey, what's up, Chris? Saying how to campers. Does Olu get his job back? Like, what do we think? Put your thoughts in the comments there. Sundell comes out here. The team looks crisp. I thought Sundell looked better than last game, which is not a shock. Right? Second time out there. But he's with his battering ram, his college mate with Zabel. And I thought we looked with 9 yards to carry. 50 million Elvis fans can't be wrong. So does Olu have a shot? Does he get his job back? Is he the better play, or is this now Sundell's job to lose? Would love to get some opinions of that. I think that's a pretty interesting take there for sure. So some other stuff. So another major topic from this game for me is we see that K9 is not playing again, right? Charbonnet is in. He looks great in this stretch zone. He looks like, obviously, he reads it very, very well. You give him a little daylight and he's going through it. We see Halani. We see Martinez. Another question I would pose to the flock out there is, what do we think of K9's potential future? Like now, like right now, we have our Discord, which is open to our members. And we were discussing this during the game when, really every Seahawks running back looked absolutely amazing. And I posed the question, would it shock you? I mean, shock, like you couldn't believe it, if the Seahawks traded K9? Like, I mean, now, before the season started, traded K9 to a running back needy team. The depth is there to do it. His injury history is what it is. I love K9. I still think K9's probably the most special back, maybe the best talent on the entire team. But just putting it out there, we hear these things like Clint Kubiak talking about, when K9's out there, he flashes, but he's got to get out there more often, essentially, right? Paraphrasing, but essentially. And we get to game 2 and he's not out there, and Charbonnet is. So just an interesting, just an interesting thing that I'd like to bring up. So, okay. So we got Donovan saying, is DL Mills back from his injury? No, not yet. Right. Not yet. He's going to be a couple more weeks is my understanding. Our defensive lineman from Notre Dame, a big boy. I think they're going to give, plenty of time for him to come back as a rookie, because he had a pretty bad knee injury late in the collegiate season there. So Shane Turner Acoustic saying the running back room looks great. Martinez seems to be the weakest, which surprised me. Well, I think that's an interesting point. And again, comment away. I thought Martinez looked markedly better this time around. And then you still got Jarcadia, if I'm saying it correctly, White, who is doing his thing, look good. Sharbs looked great. Halani looked great. I thought Martinez looked a lot better this week, Shane, than he did last week. Just to me, much less tentative and just more downhill, a little bit more, all the cliches, nose to the grind, yada, yada, yada. I just thought he looked really, really a lot better at this time around. Smokehawk, what's up, Smoke? One of our members, good to see you, saying, I think K9 is already on the trading block. Okay. So thank you, Smoke. I appreciate that. I get the same feeling. And again, I think K9 is the premier back or the premier talent out there, but I just can't help but feel, I think, what you're feeling. And Nate shoots, what's up, dude? He says, just imagine K9 hitting those holes. I agree, man. I agree. I am not taking away that K9 might even be better than 9 yards a carry. I just have this lingering feeling of, well, what's going to happen if he just can't get on the field? And we have to remember, he is due up for a contract, right? So would you move on from a guy like that? Maybe acquire still maybe like a 4th rounder, maybe, and just, move on and accumulate the draft picks because they are valuable. Obviously, our Seattle Seahawks are making the most out of draft picks. So put your stuff in the comments. Let's talk about who else we really liked. We talked about Halani. We talked about that O-line. That O-line was absolutely smashing. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, Halani. There we go. Got to put Halani and Oots up there. Halani's, what do you all think? Halani making this team? I don't think you could sneak Halani back to the practice squad, right? I just don't think that's going to happen. Same with Bobo. Bobo, there was all that chatter. Oh, will Bobo make the team? He's Bobo on the bubble. I don't know. All Bobo did was go out there and show that why he's really valuable, and then have a nice punt return later and catch a contested ball in the red zone. Beautiful ball by the hose, Drew Lock. That's a tough catch. One of the things we talked about throughout the preseason was that while we knew this would be a very, very wildly different wide receiver room, obviously with DK leaving and Lockett being shown the door and Cup coming in, and then we draft Torrey Horton. So if anybody has an update on Torrey Horton, if he is injured, hopefully it's nothing serious. If anybody has that, throw it in the chat, please. But one of the things we talked about on the Seahawks podcast throughout the preseason was, look, this team should be markedly better, at least in the red zone when it came to wide receivers, because it is what it is. You look at Lockett would get over the top on people, and that's how he kind of made the last couple of years of his career when he was still a stellar wide receiver. And DK is just not a great contested catch guy, and he was not a great short red zone guy. We have a much different dynamic at this point. So I think we'll be much, much better in the red zone. All right, let's see if we got some good comments here. This is a nice one here from Mike Dubb saying, well, that was one of the most entertaining preseason games I can remember. 100%, Mike. I mean, what more can you want, right? What more can you possibly want? One of the things I absolutely loved about this whole game, it thrilled me. Those that have listened to Seahawkers Pod for a while and heard me, my take the last couple of years of Pete was I was absolutely sick and tired of winning the coin toss, deferring, and we'd be down 7-0. I just couldn't be more sick of the philosophy of giving the ball away first when the defense was not good. I was like, it's such a mistake. Today, we see Kansas City wins the coin toss and they defer. And I'm sitting there licking my chops, Mike. I thought I was like, all right, here we go. And then what did we get? That first drive, absolutely pure magic, right? We talked about Zabel already. We talked about Sundell, but it wasn't just them. The first drive, you've got JSN on a little orbity thing, right? He's in motion. So much motion across the face of the offense, little drags across the line that just open up absolute free yards, right? Gonna bring Adam back in, see if he's back. Adam, how you doing?
I don't know. Am I back? Can you hear me?
You're so back. You're so back.
Yay! Wow. I just had to go to my phone and ditch my entire fancy podcast setup. This is really cool.
You look better. You sound better. You lost weight. Your beard looks amazing. You probably read a book or two. You're much smarter now. Look at you.
I'm smarter, and my team has a run game, Clinton. I don't know how far you've gotten here in talking about some of this stuff, but
no, let's go back. Okay, of course we started there, but that don't matter. None. The 182 plus people that are in with us live right now. That's what they're going to want to talk about anyway. Real quick before we let you dive in, we've already gotten a number of super chats, but here's another one.
Yeah, let's hit them.
Our guys. Yeah, well, we've already had 3. Here's the newest one from our guy Samuel Gelber saying videos popping up in my feed, hyping up Jared Ivey. Nothing too special tonight, but he was in the backfield a bit. Ivey looked really good last week. I think he had a couple of nice rushes this week, Sam. And overall, I thought we had better pressure. I know we want to talk run game, Adam, but since Sam, put the dollars in the machine, we'll give him some love, and we love Sam anyway. But I thought overall there was some a little bit more dynamic blitzing in game 2, and I just thought more overall pressure. Now we didn't always get there, but that's the way the cookie crumbles in the NFL. But what'd you think about the pressure this week versus last week?
Yeah, I didn't feel the pressure quite as much as maybe last week, especially with the ones out there, because they made it tough on the Chiefs. It's not like they just marched down the field, but they made them go through their set of downs each and every time. Going back to Ivy, I saw some of the stuff that he did on the YouTubes, and I think there was some stuff in there that was pretty exciting. And then I also saw some things in there that I thought were a little overhyped, and you're like, well, okay, like, yeah, that's a football play. But had the nice pressure tonight. And the defensive line as a whole, I mean, when you kind of look at it in this game, I thought they really stood up pretty well. And I mean, not only that, but they scored a safety. I mean, Healy in there with the safety, like playing his way out of the team. I wonder if Hankins' back is feeling any better after seeing that. I don't know.
I know, right? But he just might be. Maybe Odu's back might be feeling better after watching Sundell blast open some holes. Hankinson's back might be feeling a little better. There's still one guy who's back. I don't want to feel better. Do you know who that is?
No.
Matt Stafford. I don't care about his back.
No, I'm not excited about his back. It'll be whatever it'll be. I'm sure it's fine anyways. So whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. We got Ryan Young saying Jared Ivey has to make this team. I think he gets the big end role, and Mike Morris is the 4th edge until Nuosu. Wait a second. We're missing like DeMarcus Lawrence then, if because we got just for rhyme, we got edges, right? So we got Mafe, we got D Hall, we got Lawrence, Jamie Sheriff was in there, but we got Jared Ivey. So Mike Moe, I think, would be 5 if I'm counting even without Nuosu. How's my math, Adam?
I mean, it just depends on which position you're putting each one of those guys in, and I think it's all fairly multiple. But those guys, they can all play a bunch of different positions, and I think really they've all put together pretty fine preseasons to this point. It's really pretty amazing what Mike's gotten out of these guys. And you can kind of see them stacking from last year, right? And really growing in their roles. And they're pretty deep when it comes to edge. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get to where you want to take this, because you couldn't join us earlier. We got some of these stats on screen here, but read them again because they're just so lovely to look at. 5 for 49 for Helani, 5 for 45 for Zach Charbonnet, 11 for 51 for Martinez. The Hose had a nice couple of runs. Jarcadia Wright, 6 yards a clip. Jason Turner saying RTDB, which I know stands for run the damn ball, Adam.
It surely does. 174 rushing yards in the first half. If they can do 75% of that when the regular season comes around, this team's going to be a tough out. They're going to be a pain in the neck for everybody, because you see what it does for the quarterbacks. I mean, Darnold went out there and he was sharp, 4 for 4. I mean, they're all little dink and dunks, but it was because they run everybody off the ball and they just had these wide open dudes in the flat. And I think that, with what they accomplished on the ground here in the last 2 games, that's such a huge fundamental building block for this team going into week 1. And it's just music to my ears, just listening to the announcers talk about it and watching Sharps just rip it up. It really is the way football's meant to be played. Clint Kubiak's offense is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, and you've been on it for many a season now, right? And you were one of the earliest people that I know who was like, hey, last year being like, I don't think Ryan Grubb is it. When the entire world was, the entire PNW was absolutely smitten with the idea of Grubb, you were like, whoa, I need to see it to believe it. Nice words, but the proof is not in the pudding from what he did. And you turned out to be very, very correct about that because he never did it. And now we see this, this maturation, and we know it's week 2. We're not claiming we're making a deep playoff run, although I think we can. But we just see this complete 180 from identity standpoint, 180, Adam. And you mentioned the dink and dunks, and sure, but it's because they're schemed and it's easy, right? And it's all in stride. And I want to give a little bit of shout out to Robbie Oots. Again, this is 2 games in a row where last game he had 2 targets, 2 catches. This game gets a target, rumbling, stumbling, bumbling, 20 something yards down the sidelines. Is besides Robbie Oots being, obviously awesome to have a fullback. How you feeling about him contributing as a pass catcher this year, dude?
Well, that's the role of a fullback. Like if I think of like the traditional fullback in a West Coast offense, I think of Tom Rathman first and foremost, the old 49ers fullback. And Oots has that skill set. He's got nice soft hands with his background playing tight end. And then we see him go out there and be a monster blocker. And then you add the face paint that he had on tonight.
Yeah.
Whoo, that's a scary man coming at you. Like I wouldn't be excited seeing 40 rumbling, bumbling, stumbling downhill there. And I did say it was dink and dunk, and it was relatively easy for Darnold. And
that's how it should be.
That's how it should be. And that's how you're going to get the best out of somebody like Sam Darnold. Anybody who's listened to this show for any given time, they know I'm a Darnold skeptic. If you can give him that kind of support offensively, scheme-wise, with a good running game, and the offensive line just really moving people up front, pushing them 2, 3, 4 yards downfield, then you get a very effective Sam Darnold.
Yeah, and I love this from well, first of all, I love the name Slarty Bogarty. That's just fantastic. Bodie McBoatface brought to us by, it says their best defense was good offense for this game. So nice to flip the script, very nice to flip that script and put a team on their heels for once, because the last couple of years at home, and that includes Carroll and it certainly includes last year, we've been pushed around.
Yeah,
we've been in the teams that fly freaking cross country, come into sometimes inclement weather like today was, and we would be pushed around by other NFL teams. That just does not feel like that's going to be the case. Now we got to do it, when it comes September and against the stupid Niners and we get going. But what a joyous thing to see. And again, scheming dudes basically wide open. For so many years, we would sit there and be complaining about, I don't understand how that guy was just running free. Like very often Deebo Samuel, right? Hate to harp on that, but somebody like Samuel or George Kittle, like why is he just free? What's happening? For us to invert that and not have to have Geno Smith hero ball and people, I think people that are on the, Geno sucked, Geno was bad. It's like, I just don't know what you were watching. There was very little structure there, and we won 10 games. Now it's in the past. I'm not going to dredge that back up, but I just want to imagine this with structure now, where Sam, it's like we were like, oh well, can Sam redo this again? Because with the Kevin O'Connell offense, hey, that was perfect, right? He's in a dome. He's got Jefferson. He's got Addison. He's got Hawkinson. He's got Kevin O'Connell. He's got a good run game.
He's got Aaron Jones. Yep.
That is a perfect scenario. Like it's exactly what he needs. All right. Well, A, maybe, but also B, are we seeing the green shoots of Sam Darnold has exactly what he needs here now?
I mean, it's tough to not get overhyped in preseason week 2 when you see something that is so dominant looking compared to what you've seen the last several years. But with that said, it does feel like the green shoots. Like these are the fundamental things that the good NFL offenses do. I mean, obviously they talked about it a lot on the broadcast.
Yeah.
This is an offense that comes from that McVay, Shanahan, Kubiak tree. Like it's all kind of meshed together. They all have their differences, but for the most part, it's all based on the same principles. And not only just like you talked a little bit about some of Gino's struggles last year, and you talked about lack of structure. It wasn't even lack of structure. It was a lack of making the defense guess in any way. Like it was all so obvious. Gino's going to stand here. He's going to throw over there. And there was nothing to keep them moving and guessing. You see tonight and even the week before, and not just for Sam Darnold, but for Drew Lock.
Yes.
Like Drew Lock had a monster game.
Yes,
10 for 12, 129, 2 touchdowns. Should have been 3 if he just hits the back of the flat on that 4th down play instead of trying to make a hero throw in the back of the end zone. But you see how much easier it makes it for any quarterback. Geno Smith, Drew Lock, Sam Darnold, Pat Mahomes. It doesn't matter if you can play that style of football and complete the circle of toughness with the run game. It really just does make all the world of a difference for those guys.
110%. Love how you said it, dude. Love seeing this on our screen. We got Nate Schutz, who's an awesome member of the flock. He hangs out with us in the Discord. Quite a funny person too, by the way, Nate. You are quite funny. So $2 super chat. Thank you, saying starting pass rush was a tad underwhelming. We appreciate the $2. Adam, I thought it was better than last week, and but Nate is saying, hey, I still need a little bit more. But I guess the thing is, but there were some major players still not on the field.
Oh, for sure. And maybe on rewatch, it pops off the screen a little bit more. And I think that's one thing that's tough, watching these preseason games. You're looking at individual players, looking for individual performances. And so sometimes it's hard to soak in the totality of what's happening on the field. So maybe the pass rush, like you think, in your opinion, did look better than maybe Nate thought. But for me, it was a little underwhelming right out of the gate. But defensively, one of the things that I like is when they get down in that short yardage stuff, they've been really good. Think about Julian Love's stick on 4th down. On not a tiny guy. Carson Steele's a big man.
Yeah,
that
was gorgeous.
Yeah, gets him off the field, stops a scoring drive. That's that type of situational football that I'm loving even more so than like the running game. Watching the offense convert consistently on 3rd and shorts, watching the defense come up big in those 4th and short moments. Those are the things that swing games massively.
Yeah, I love that. And so good one by Nate there. Good discussion. I'm going to put us back to the screen. I think I got to add you back. So give me 1 second because you pop back in and there you are. Perfect. I want to put this up on screen from Juan. Say Adame. I would say Adame, right? If I got Adame right,
I like it. Yeah.
I think it's Juan Adame, which is a really fun name to say. And he says, Bobo shut some people up tonight. And I talked about it a little bit when you were, trying to get back on. Just in general, that there was a lot of, Bobo's in the bubble. Bobo's not going to make this team. Dude, I don't know. This guy, to me, is an absolute lock. And this is before he goes out and scores 2 touchdowns, one of them being a really nice contested catch over the back of a DB, helmet of a DB from the hose. What'd you see from Bobo? And where do you have him, dude? Is he a lock for you as well?
Bobo had an awesome night. A couple of the receivers had a really nice night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think about what Derek Young did out there.
Yes, great call.
He had some nice plays as well, but Bobo with the 2 touchdowns, that was obviously fun, especially for us fans because we love Bobo so much. But you said he's a lock to make the roster.
I said lock.
How many receivers do you think that they're going to keep? 5, 6?
So I think 6. I know it's gonna be tough because
would you though, in an offense that is going to be structured the way that we have now seen, condensed splits, 12 personnel running it down your throat, fullback on the field.
Yes.
Wouldn't you be maybe more likely to keep just 5 then at that point?
Well, then who goes? Because Bobo is great in condensed formations because he's a damn good blocker too.
So is Derek Young.
And Derek Young showed out. So I had that in my notes as well. He really showed out. And it wasn't just his action green shoes, taking a page out of Metcalf there. It wasn't just the action green shoes. Derek Young really had a nice game. So if we go through the exercise, then who's on the chopping block? I mean, obviously you got JSN. He's, with this, So you got JSN, Cup, Horton,
MVS
maybe. haven't seen him. And if there's just a younger guy, yes, there's some guaranteed money there, but he'd be the guy, right? It's like if you're John Schneider and Mike McDonald and Clint Kubiak, if you're sitting around being like, okay, we think we have MVS plus in Horton. Just say that's the argument. I'm not making that argument, but I could, and I think you could too.
I would.
I'm not right now. I think that's there, but also, we got to see it. But if that's the conversation, hey, the dude who needs to get over the top or have the threat of getting over the top so we can run the digs in this kind of offense is we don't need two of them. We have a cheaper one with Horton. That's maybe the decision, dude, is like freeing that space up. Because then what do you want? Do you want MVS, who is maybe a duplicate or a minus of Torrey Horton? And this is an NFL player who's been around a while, has been on Super Bowl teams, has played well in big moments. So I'm not trying to
created some MVPs too, right? He's been on some teams.
Right. I'm not trying to crap on the guy. He's been a very, very successful NFL player. Roster construction wise, would you rather have Tariq Young and or Jake Bobo or MVS, where Bobo's returning punts, Bobo plays special teams, Bobo's a great inline blocker, Tariq Young is a special teamer, and when he gets his opportunities, different body, completely different body than MVS. What would you do? You're Schneider. What do you do?
Well, I think one of the things that you brought up with everything you were saying there were the words special teams.
Yeah.
And I think really that's what it's going to kind of come down to. Does MVS play special teams? No, he doesn't. And he's a relatively one-trick pony as a receiver. It's, it's deeper outs and speed.
Yep.
Torrey Horton has that for days. Now, MVS has proven over the course of his career that he can stay relatively healthy and on the field. And one of the concerns for Torrey Horton is the injury stuff. That's why he fell to us where he did in the draft. So you're taking a little bit of a risk there. But I also think that you can get Tariq Young out there to run some of those routes as well in the offense. Yeah. So for me, I was always a little underwhelmed with the MVS signing to begin with. And when I'm looking at this crew and kind of the direction that I think this team is trying to go, this is a youth movement. To me, he's the odd man out. Like if you were to ask me, but
yeah, he very well may be. All right. So I want to hit some of these other things up. We saw DCH in the chat there. What's up, DCH? Saying reverse drinks forever. One of the best people out there, man. And we got some cool stuff queued up. So keep throwing the comments in there. Were there any other players that really stood out to you? O-line, defense, anybody else that we didn't talk about yet? I got one more that I thought was really quite good, but
go ahead and hit on that one more as I go back through the notes here.
Okay, cool. So the other guy that I thought played really well out of the gate, I thought Patrick O'Connell looked really nice. So we talked about, I thought he looked good. I thought he was just solid. I thought he was good in the run game. I thought he was present. And when I mean present, I mean kind of on the ball, just there when you need him. And we talked about this as we led up to the week. We're like, okay, that linebacker depth was a little bit scary. And we went through, well, is it Drake? Is it Patrick? I thought Patrick played pretty good, man. Not sure if you saw that.
It's so funny because I said, give me a second to go through my notes, and I'm scanning through, and the name that I landed on was the Kalispell kid, Patrick O'Connell, alleged Glacier Wolfpack alumni, but I'm sure he's a Flathead Brave. I don't care what.
I heard you guys talk about that.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, he was the one who was out there starting over Drake Thomas, replacing Tyrese Knight. And I thought he had a solid game.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, hey, look, if we both jotted it down from the eye test, then we were seeing, and I was, tweeting away too and hanging out in the Discord as well. And I saw, see Mike Spin Move Griff throwing out a couple of tweets being like, that's a nice play by O'Connell. And that's not how I formed my opinion. It was I was like, oh, I think I'm seeing this. And then Blammo, an X's and O's guy, is like, that's a nice shed. He did this, this is a really nice play. By the way, we're also, I mentioned while we were getting going that we have Coach Derek on Monday from All 22 Films. We have Earl Thomas on Tuesday. We're also going to have C Mike Spin Move Griffin Sturgeon from the Overload podcast on later in the week. So, Adam, we are chock full of amazing guests coming up this week, dude.
It's outrageous, man. You've done great work lining all those up, and I'm looking forward to that slate of shows, no doubt about it. About as much as I'm looking forward to the season. Like, I don't know that I've been this fired up after a preseason game for a minute. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, cancel the joint practice with Green Bay. Screw that. Like, we'll just forfeit week 3, and maybe that'll just make week 1 come faster. And bring on the freaking whiners. Let's go.
Yeah, it'll be time for that for sure. We have some more comments. I think we kind of went through the eye test stuff, the eye candy stuff, and we'll look through the comments as well.
Yeah.
I did ask earlier if anybody knows about Torrey Horton. I know that he was dinged a little bit, but then I saw like a tweet saying he seems to be okay, but I don't want that dude. He's, I think, a difference maker, so
yeah,
it'd be very, very nice to make sure. So if anybody knows if there's any press conference stuff going on while we're doing this and it's coming out, please throw it in the comments. This is from Paul, my buddy Paul, the comic.
Hey.
Yeah, Paul's a great dude. If for comic book fans out there, like, we got to support different creators, man. So check out the Comic Binge on YouTube. I'm not calling it out just because of that, but if you like comics, they do a really cool job with really going nerding out on specific series. It's a lot of fun. So he says, nervous to get excited about the run game. I want to be excited, but I need to see it week 1. Adam, I'm going to give you the Fox Mulder. I want to believe, Adam.
Yeah. Well, I think I do believe. And the reason I believe is because it's in Clint Kubiak's DNA.
Yeah.
Like, this is what that family does. And Coach Mike was emphatically clear as to the direction he wanted to see the offense go. Now, will it be this effective in the regular season? Unlikely, right? Like, unlikely. Like, if we're playing the likely unlikely game.
We're playing the game, right? And Jacob Wilson says here, haven't seen this dominant Seahawks game since 48, right? Of course, referencing the Super Bowl where we just absolutely demolished the Broncos. But to your point, it's like, well, I don't want this to be our Super Bowl, or to the point, I don't want this to be a Super Bowl where we're sitting here like week 9 being like, remember what we did to the Chiefs in week 2 of the preseason? I just hope it's more of a precursor of what we'll see consistently.
Yeah, and I know this, whether or not it's as effective out the gate as what we saw tonight and in week 1, it's going to look a lot like this in terms of the scheme, the condensed formations, all that stuff. And it's going to be that, again, it brings so much joy to my fandom watching that sort of ball. It's a lot of fun. I don't know if you touched on before I got on here with you, Clinton, any Milro stuff. Did you have any Milro takes?
No. And we have a discussion in our Discord that I think is a worthy one for our listeners and fans and people that might be here for the first time ever, but no, did not talk Milro. So why don't you take the baton, dude?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we finally did see Milro after the first drive in the second half. And I think all of us wanted to see Milro start and have the whole half, but they finally get him out there, and I thought he had a couple nice throws. I thought that there was the one down in the red zone that he airmailed the back on.
Yeah, I saw that to the right side. Yeah,
it give Mike Robb some homer credit here. Like, well, it's rated, so maybe it just slipped out. And it's like, I didn't see any other guys struggling throwing the football. So a couple misses, a couple really nice throws. I think that they have him trying to process while in the pocket and making that the key focus of what he's trying to accomplish out there, rather than just turning him loose with the legs, because we all know the man can run. Like, I don't know how much practice he needs at that. I do know that he needs a lot of practice at his footwork. You saw Sam Darnold in his interview with Sherman. I don't know if anybody had watched that, but he, on a shirt, it said, "Listen to your feet." That was what is on a shirt. And it's what Bill Walsh always talked about, right? 5-step drop, read 1, first hitch, read 2, second hitch, read 3. And that's what they're trying to get Milro to work on, because they don't do any of that crap in college. They just have him stand in the gun, take a rock step and chuck it.
Yeah.
And
the one read, or if that's not there, take off. Right. So that's so much of what it is. And, I do think the advent of the pioneering of using VR matters. I mean, think it's a really smart way to go. And I think Jaden Daniels is proof in the early pudding. Now I think Jaden Daniels is an exceptional quarterback. With that,
wasn't Stroud doing that too? The VR stuff?
Maybe. I think a lot of them are now doing it, you know, and it makes total sense. Cause again, you could do it like a podcast. You could speed it up to 1.2 or 1.3x. It's like swinging with a donut, man. I know you love baseball references, but it's like swinging with the donut.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you're taking punches at Dunkin' Donuts or something, like, throwing haymakers. I didn't know.
I don't punch anybody at Dunkin' Donuts. I just enjoy myself. I just gotta get go to donut. You gotta get one donut. What are you having? One donut.
One donut? Oh, it's got to be the Boston cream filled.
That's a lot. It's a lot to process. All right. Tell us in the comments. I like that the blueberry, like a blueberry.
You are a blueberry.
Thank
so
you very much. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I love DCH saying this because these are the kind of things that I think DCH knows that I kind of get into a lot, especially on 3 In 3 Out, one of our shows on the Seahawkers podcast network. But DCH saying, nice to see a punt finally stick inside the 10-yard line. And, you know, I know people might be like, well, what do you mean? You know, he's a great punter. He's an all-pro. And he is, and he has been. Michael Dixon has been really, really good. And with that, his first couple of years were better than last year. Last year was just like we couldn't. And I think it's just probably law of averages because the ball's weird.
Yeah.
You know, it's shaped weird. But last year, the ball just kept carrying into the friggin' end zone. It just kept carrying into the end zone. Or it's like, you know, we'd be fair caught at like the 15 or 17, which is like, if you're punting from your 45, that's not good enough. You know, this just not good enough. So love it. I know it's a punt in week 2, but what can I say, Adam? This is what gives me the fizz, bud.
Kickers have been good in special teams. It was tough watching Holani make the nice return early and have it called back on a hold. And then it was tough watching the big return they gave up that set up Kansas City at the 50. So return and coverage, Jay Harbaugh needs to get after it, like, because it really was the weakest link of the team tonight.
Yeah, it was okay, right? It was not even, it was less than okay. It was a minus. With that,
D plus, C minus.
With that, I think they've made it really difficult in the NFL. I mean, we've discussed this rule before, so I'm not going to go rule crazy. However, my stance is doing all these stupid things to try and eliminate kickoffs, but then to do other dumb things to try and bring kickoffs back. So you put all these stupid rules in that if you put the ball in the end zone, they get it at the 35-yard line, which dudes are kicking 70-yard field goals now. And we're giving away yards in an era where you can get 3. I mean, dudes are kicking 60-yarders like it's, you know, pretty average now, which is just insane.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a stretch on the kick. I'd say over 50 is getting closer to a regular kick.
Right.
60s are still an adventure.
Sure. But my point being is that I think they've really goosed in a bad way this time. The kickoff rules, just move the freaking tee back. If you want the ball to actually land, you know, not in the past the goal line, move the tee back. Just stop effing around. But anyway,
we completely disagree on this topic. And I think what they've done with the kickoff rules and everything is fantastic. One, because I mean, you always lament, oh no, they get it all the way out at the 35. Then don't kick it into the end zone. It's called a penalty for a reason. Well, like, I like that.
But to your point is cool. Then you do that. And then when they take it back to the 40-yard line, because of all the other rules compiled with when you can move and all that crap for safety, quote unquote safety, I think it puts like Jay Harbaugh and like the Harbaugh, special teams behind the 8 ball. And I think a lot of teams are just going to look degraded because I think the scale is tilted against
the coverage unit.
The cover in many ways. Yeah, I think it's against the coverage unit. Now, some people do dumb things. They take the ball out from the end zone when you have a free 35 yards and they get smacked at the 19. We saw that today from a Chief. Thank you for doing that. But yeah, I just think it's a little bit more difficult than it was just even a couple of years ago on special teams.
Well, I would say this. So you said like for safety, we can agree that guys running from 20 yards apart or 15 yards apart, whatever they are, I know it's pretty condensed, is going to, when they run at each other and collide, that collision is going to be a lesser collision than if you move the tee even further back than what it was originally. And guys have even more of a head of steam coming down and colliding, that there's just a lot of energy there. It's just physics.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I do think it makes it legitimately safer. I think it makes it so that the ball is in play, so that it's an actual football play. I mean, it had gotten to the point with the regular kickoff, Clinton, that, I mean, that was go get a beer. It might as well be a commercial,
Yeah,
because it
for
was
sure.
just kicked through the uprights. So they had to do something. I think this is a lot better than moving it back, both on a safety matter, and I think it puts the ball in play a ton, and it allows for some creativity. Like, for example, the return that we gave up to the Chiefs.
Yep.
We had two dudes, the two inside gunners. I don't know what the position's even called, the two most inside guys rushing. They kind of try to do this stunt where they ran around each other, and like 44 like tries to loop around other dude's blocker, and then 28, I think, was the other player. He couldn't get off his blocker, and then all of a sudden the middle was wide open. But it does allow you to do a lot of really interesting things within that space. So overall, I like the rule. In terms of how it's being executed by the Seahawks to this point, I'm not excited.
Yeah. Hey, the rules are what they are, so I can't complain about them forever. It's just they are the rules for everybody. So it's like, cool, I could just accept it and move on. Like, I hate the tush push, but tush push still stays, and we could get back to the Milro tush push in a second, which was lovely, great play. But it's our special teams still has, bottom line, special teams still has work to do. It is also glaring against when the other units look really, really good. The offense stole the show tonight. Defense did good, and then got like a nice fourth down stop in the deep in the red zone there, which always helps, right? You get turnover on downs, and the game's over. That's the game. You score, they have a turnover on downs, you score. Good night, game over. Especially when you have a team like that looks like the type of team we have, constitution wise, where you could then just be like, we're going to run the ball and you can't stop us.
Absolutely. And I mean, of course, the offense stole the show tonight. They scored touchdowns on 4 of their first 5 drives. And the one that they could have, if Drew just hits a different guy, it was right there. They were down in the red zone. And so their red zone efficiency was really good.
Very good.
Through the first half, their third down efficiency was really good. And
again, they were really good too.
Yeah. And these are the things that we have lamented as 12s for the past 3, 4, 5 years. I mean, how many times did you hear Pete talk about third down? Like throughout the last couple of years of his tenure, and nothing ever changed.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. There'd be some games where we'd get done, be like, well, somehow we won the game, but we were 1 for 12 and it was a slog, right? It's like everything was difficult. Everything was difficult. Many of those years was frankly Russ hero ball. And that's not bad Russ. That's we're 1 for 12 on third down. Dudes are not just wildly open. And then, it's like the middle of the third quarter and we're down 9 and we win the game by 1. And then we get ousted in the playoffs because constitutionally we're not a sound football team because we can't run the friggin' ball.
Yeah.
And it's all feeling like it's changing. Want to give some love. So, I saw Nate Schutz asking, where's Brandon? Brandon's on vacay with his family. No, I won't tell you where he is because I'm not going to dox our own guy, but he's out there having fun.
You think they can find him out there?
Probably not, but no more clues. No more clues. Jeez.
No, okay.
This is you're the guy who likes to be a recluse in the mountains, right? So,
I know. Yeah. I'm just afraid for his safety. That's all.
James Stradley is agreeing with you. Boston cream all day. It's a little rich for me. It's just not my favorite.
But with a black coffee, that nice bitter with that super sweet.
Yes. Okay. See, I understand that with the black coffee. I don't drink my coffee black. I drink my coffee with
someday you'll be a man. Someday you'll grow up and be a
Cool. I'll get I'll leave a joke aside about a brand, but someday I'll be a man. But until I am, I like half and half, and I like a little fake sugar. So I like a more plain donut because I've got the sweet.
That makes sense.
Sitting in the cup. It's a little too much. So is he in Fife?
Negative.
Okay. Negative. I didn't know what Fife was. Fife sounds like it's
Five's Seattle.
Oh, okay, that sounds like not really.
I know they all seem to pretend like those are all different towns, but they don't stop. They never stop. Like it's just city from freaking Olympia to Bellingham, basically.
Amazing. Well, I think we One more topic before we do go. So
Yeah.
this is, we started to talk about Jalen Milro, and folks, stick around for this because I think you're going to want to weigh in on this discussion. So in the Discord, which people you should be joining, youtube.com/Seahawkers podcast, or go to getintheflock.com, become a member, and $3 a month gets you in the Discord. Discord's on fire all week long. Game day is an absolute blast. So do it. It's a lot of fun. But we were discussing in there, I'm like, for me, the moment we took Jalen Milro, I would go back to what Clint Kubiak said. They said, hey, they asked him, why were you so good in short down situations last year? And without skipping a beat in his first press conference, he just said, I had a special guy. Like Taysom Hill is very special in those situations and extremely difficult to stop. So like no secret sauce here. That's why we were really good with a bad New Orleans team. That was not a talented team last year. And they still were well above average when it came to short down conversions. So you and I have been debating for a while that my take for Jalen Milroe this year is I think it'd be extremely valuable, not just for the team, but I think also for Milroe's potential progress to be used in the Taysom Hill row. Now, I mean, as a quarterback, not tight end, not a wide out, not a wildcat runner, not that stuff, but exclusively as a quarterback in those short situations, or you just need a spark and you want to try something new. And you have a different take. So why don't you let us know how you feel about it?
Yeah. So, I mean, when you make the comparison to Taysom Hill and say, I'd like to use Milro as a quarterback, not as a wildcat guy, I think of Taysom Hill as a wildcat guy. Like, just not a quarterback. He's never been a legitimate quarterback. He's not
going to be an NFL quarterback that Milroe certainly can be.
Exactly. And this is where the difference, and this is where the difference lies. Are we training Jalen Milroe to be Taysom Hill, or are we training Jalen Milroe to be the next franchise quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks? Which one?
It's going to be the latter. Where you and I like separate down the road here is right here. This is the fork for me. I don't think being like, hey, go out there in fourth down situations, go out there in red zone situations and go be a quarterback and be a different type of quarterback than Sam Darnold can be, just with different type of talent, right? And go be an NFL quarterback and help us win football games. To me, that's not steering towards Taysom Hill gadget guy. That's just getting him real world reps that he needs. Plus my take is fully, if he is successful year one, and I would carve out success as like 5 to 8 total touchdowns for Milroe, doesn't matter how he gets them, feet, whatever, doesn't matter. Throw on the ball. But like he's really involved in, let's say, 6 to 8 touchdowns. I think our team becomes much more dangerous, man. And I think he gets snaps that matter, not gadget snaps, quarterback snaps, but in scenarios.
Okay. So one of the things you talked about with the Saints in Clint Kubiak's answer, I had a special guy, and that's why we were good on third down. And then you had mentioned, well, they were kind of just a terrible team otherwise.
They were bad.
What we're seeing here in the first couple of weeks of preseason, I'm not saying that it's for sure a lock to be this way in the regular season, but if you're going to extrapolate, they can be this type of team in that physical up front. Why do you need to break the flow of the offense and take your starter out when your offensive line and your starter and your starting running back in 22 personnel with Robbie Utes in there can go out there and mash for those short yardage situations as it is? Because one of the things that it does do is it takes your starter out on some of the most high leverage plays in the entire game, and you're putting in a guy who's cold to execute on some of the biggest downs in your game. Like I feel like there's far more downside to doing that than there is just playing normal football with your quarterback, if you can run the ball the way the Hawks have been showing they can run the football potentially this season.
Yeah.
And furthermore, on top of all of that, I think more than just it's quality over quantity when it comes to reps. I know Nate was talking a lot in the Discord about like, hey, if he uses his legs a little bit more, maybe they pick up first down, then he has a few more reps. And so then he gets a little more experience in all that. And I get that. And that makes some sense. But to me, what you're trying to do is, even if they're fewer reps, have them be quality reps trying to figure out how to refine his game as a thrower. Because if he can do that, then it's all gravy. Like we've got somebody that could potentially rise to a Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels type level of player. But if you start having him develop bad habits by being basically a read option guy on fourth down, that's, basically running the mesh, and then it's an RPO or run it, like, you're not training him to be a full-fledged NFL quarterback. That's gimmicky college bullshit. So I want him out there training and repping quality quarterback reps and learning how to do that.
Got it. We're not gonna settle this one tonight, right? And I think we're gonna see him use the way that I'm more suggesting. Whether well, I could almost guarantee it. Mike McDonald just basically said it without saying it. He's basically said it. And again, I go back to what Kubiak said, and that they drafted him. And we saw it tonight. 3rd and 1. Who's 3rd and 1 opening? Was that opening drive? I think it was, or second drive. Who goes out there? It's Jalen Milro for the tush push.
And that makes a lot more sense to me than having him go out there and run read option.
I want to hop into, because you mentioned, like, not taking a quarterback out of the flow. I agree with that point, by the way. I think I think that can happen, and you're taking potentially the most talented dude, the most important guy for sure. In this case, would be Sam, off the field in critical moments, and that can be disruptive. So I don't want to discount that. Where I think your argument is wrong is when you say the floor versus ceiling piece of it. Now, there is more risk because of the things you're saying, and I agree with them. I think the ceiling of the entire team rises so dramatically if you have a Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson-esque weapon in critical downs where you must convert and you retain the football. We looked at this in the off season. We looked at all the trends in going for and converting on fourth downs. It's not really how many times you go for it. That's not the key metric. It is because there were plenty of teams who went for fourth downs a lot last year. It is simply about how often do you succeed when you do it, even if you are more conservative when you do it. It's just about conversion mechanism. And Daniels and the Commanders were obviously the premier example of that. Their fourth down conversion was off the charts, ridiculously good. So it's not like you have to do it a lot. It's because it's not volume. It's efficacy when you choose to do it. And then you retain the ball, time possession flips. And then with the type of team we have, good night, man. Good night. And that ceiling of a team that's like, 10 wins, 11 wins is all of a sudden, to me, we don't want to play these dudes in the playoffs. And that's a different feeling.
I'm less worried about the ceiling for this year and the ceiling for the next decade. And the ceiling for the next decade is brighter if we develop Jalen Milro slowly and we develop him as a passer and really work on that. And he can do that all day in practice. Like, correct. That's what he can do. I would be just thrilled. I'd be thrilled if he doesn't even see the field year one.
And I understand that's your take, and I get it. Yeah. And they wouldn't, to me, it would mean we probably have a good outcome anyway. And I understand that's what you're saying. It's like, well, that because we run the ball well, because Sam is being effective, and I get all that. I think we're gonna see him. And I think let's revisit this conversation like in May after the first quarter of the year, because it'll be fun. But it's a good combo. And if you folks are following along, hit us with your thoughts. Of course, we're going to wrap pretty soon, but we can't let this one go by. One of our members, Marvin Little Deer, who's awesome, always commenting, always dropping Go Hawks. And
hey, what up, Marvin? Yeah.
$10 super chat saying, be real and always get some. Y'all are so awesome. My best show. Well, thank you. We're excited to be your best show. Just a few more times a week. CAB. So appreciate it, Marvin. Yeah, we are doing, it is the season. So we get into, for anybody that's new here, like, subscribe, But anybody that's watching this for the first time ever, which I'm sure it's some of you, we do 5 shows a week during the season, and they're all different and they're all unique and they all have their own bend, and we have a cadence. So, follow along and check it out. And did I mention we have Earl Thomas on Tuesday? I might have mentioned that a few times, Adam. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a little fired up for that, I understand. I get it. Yeah.
All right. We see anything else down the,
no, just a little more Milro debate. And,
yeah.
There's people all over the place on that. And I think it's a very interesting one. I will say this, my screen is teeny tiny, so I can't see the Truth's full name there, on his comment, about talking about counting on Milro to be a starter in 10 years is a mistake. Look, I will say this for the millionth time. I will put my track record predicting early success for QBs up against anybody's. Just to recap last year, I had Jaden Daniels as number 1 in actual generational talent. That's what I said. Bo Nix as easily my number 2, who was 3rd in offensive rookie of the year voting. And I was not all that impressed with Caleb, the supposed generational talent. So that's just last year. We can go back further if you want. And I like Milro, man. I like what I see. It's there. You see it in, like I said, if he just works on that passer aspect of things and just concentrates on that, I think we're going to have a super duper star.
Yeah, I think we do have one in the making. In the meantime, happy that we got Sam. Happy that we got Gray freaking Zabel. Happy that we got Arroyo. Happy that we got Robbie Oots. I mean, happy that we got Jalen Sundell. Happy that we got Bryce Cabledew. These are just names that we're not on this team. In some of the cases, mere months ago, Adam. Mere months ago, dude.
Yeah. Hey, look, dude, we talked about just things that I was right about with quarterbacks, right? Yep. Guess what I've been really wrong about? Sundell. Like, he's gone out there and played good football, and I think he's played himself into that starter role over top of Oluwatimi, and I was dead wrong about that.
Yeah, and we were. I don't know if we were on just yet when I said, "Hey, do we think this is Sundell's now? Like, Olu just couldn't. He's not healthy. He's got a back thing, and has Sundell shown enough, and this team being cohesive enough that the coaches are just going to say, look, it ain't broke. We're not going to try and fix it. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, when you start seeing the chemistry that these guys are building out here in the preseason, I don't know how you break that. You even give him a shout out to the Josh Jones signing, which I rolled my eyes at when they did. He played a really nice game tonight.
A good swing tackle. Like, it's just competency, right? So that is your depth. And you don't have to get into predictable like nature because your personnel dictates that you can't do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of nice, right? It's kind of nice.
Yep.
So man, it's approaching 2:00 in the morning. I've got band practice tomorrow because my UConn reunion's in like 2 weeks and I got a rock show to play.
All right.
So I got to be an hour away from where I live in about 6 hours to go through about 30 songs, but that's okay. It's a choice. So before we do dip out of here, Adam, why don't you take this, man? You're the best at getting people to subscribe and join and do all the things. Lay it on them. If people aren't fired up after this game, I don't know what the hell's going to fire them up, dude.
Here's the thing. Yeah. If you're not fired up after that preseason game, you are dead inside. And that's okay, because then you're just like me. If you're like me, a little dead inside, but still kind of excited somehow, and you feel alive again, hit subscribe. If you hate the Rams, if you hate the Niners, what's that other team in our division? I don't know. I can never remember who they are. Hit the like button. And also, too, getintheflock.com. Go become a member of the flock. It really helps us out. Join our Patreon. $3 a month gets you in the Discord. The Discord was fire today. It was so much fun. You want the best game day virtual hang that you can find on the internet? It's there. So getintheflock.com, subscribe, like. And as I've said the last couple times, or don't, because literally not the boss of you. Like, you can do whatever you want. You're a free will human being.
Well, you might be free willed, but Monday we have Coach Derek from All 22 Films coming on to talk about the rookies. I talked to him today. He's like, yeah, we'll just do a rookie report. So that's going to be a lot of fun. All 22 is one of the best just video grinders out there, man. His channel's amazing. Make sure you follow him out there. He'll be on Monday. And if we didn't hear it already, Earl Thomas will be on with us Tuesday. That is going to be amazing. Earl Thomas, when we sat down with him at the draft at the casino, he said to us, hey, I think the Seahawks are going to take Jalen Milro the day before we took Jalen Milro. So it might be really, really cool to catch up with Earl and ask what he's seeing so far from the quarterback from Alabama, Adam.
Heck yeah, man. I can't wait to hear his take on that. Just the way the defense is coming together this year, how he sees our safety duo of Love and Bryant as they both made plays in this game. I mean, Love had that nice 4th down stop. And then on previous 3rd down, Kobe Bryant had a really nice tackle as well. So we'll see if Earl is seeing some of the same things that we are.
And Jason with a great troll job saying, "Hey, I heard Earl Thomas will be on the show. Is that true? I hope you
it's
like
actually not. This has all been a giant fake."
and I think with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.